Hello boys and girls, this is Miss Burkholtz again. Hi from my home here in Murfreesboro. Today we're going to be drawing a lotus flower with a little bit of lily pads around it, and then if you'd like to color in with me, I'll show you a little bit of how to make lights and darks with your coloring. Before we get started, let's read our Bob Ross quote. This one says, "Anytime you learn, you gain." And that is very, very true. Anytime you're learning something new, oh, and here's Bellatrix, my cat, in the way. Anytime you learn something new, you are gaining, even if your artwork is not as fancy as you would like. All right, so I'm gonna get a sheet of paper, make it go landscape or side to side. And I'm gonna take my pencil. Always start with pencil first, and right about in the middle, I'm gonna draw that first leaf of my lotus flower. I'm gonna curve up, point, curve back down. So it's very similar to a teardrop shape. Right next to it, going out at a slight diagonal and going up and out, point, back in. Try to do the same thing on the other side, up, point, back in. This is a pretty symmetrical flower, but you don't have to be perfect. Never have to be perfect. All right, right underneath this guy going straight up and down, I'm going to do a wide curve on both sides. It's like a C here and a backward C here. And then go down and in and curve down and in. This is the bottom petal that's coming out towards us, so it's a little bit shortened. On the side here, I'm going to draw another curve going straight out with a little dip. And then I'm going back down and out. Same thing on the other side. Curve out and down, point. Now, if at any point I'm going too quickly for you, please let me know. Well, oh, just kidding, you can't let me know. Go ahead and pause the video so you can catch up. Right here, I'm gonna do a little point and another little point. This shows the petals that are overlapped. Over here, I'm gonna draw a curve down, back in. Same thing on the other side. Curve down, point, back in. And that's the basic structure of our lotus flower. It looks much fancier than it actually is. If you want to go ahead and add in a little bit of texture for where the petals have folded, or were folded before they opened up, just a couple little lines going out from the center. It's very important that they're all coming out from the center. And around this guy, we're just going to do sort of a light oval sitting on top of a lily pad. Keep it light till it's right. And obviously I'm not drawing the back because it is, you got it, overlapped. On either side I'm going to add in maybe one or two little lily pads. Got that little mark right in there to make it clear that it's a lily pad, not just a floating oval. Same thing on the other side. Maybe I want one down here. You pick and choose where you want your lily pads to be. I'm just choosing to make mine smaller so our focus can be on that middle nice lotus flower. Draw a little line here in the back. You can place it anywhere you want, but this one is here just to show where the sky and the ground meet. I'm saying ground loosely. This is technically water. Where the sky and the ground meet, we call this the horizon line. Everyone remember that? Horizon line, where the sky meets the ground. Anytime you draw something out in nature and you want it to have an actual setting, you do have to add a horizon line. All right, now that I got my basics done, I can erase my little sketchy marks or little marks where I wasn't sure where I wanted my lines to be. I don't want to have too many, but you may have a few more. And I'm going to show you just a couple of very, very simple tips and tricks for making your lotus look a little more three-dimensional. So I'm going to take my pink, because I like my lotus flowers to be pink, but it's your flower. You pick whatever color you want. And I'm tilting my pencil on the side. I'm going to zoom in here so y'all can see it better. There we go. Tilt it on its side so it's smooth, so those lines don't show up. I'm not pressing down hard at all. Just going back over my shape, and I'm going to try to go real quick here so you're not sitting and watching me draw or color. for too long because I know you want to go off and add your own details and do your own thing with it. So another way of making your shading smooth, other than not pressing down hard and tilting your colored pencil on the side, is trying to go in just about the same direction. Trying to cover all of that white space that I got going on there. Going in the same direction. I'm not too worried about making it really bright yet because I want to create those little shadows. Alright, so I got the basics quote-unquote colored. I can definitely see some spots where I need to go back over, but this is done enough for right now. To make a shadow using just pink, all I have to do is figure out where the darkest parts of my flower would be. Taking my coloring pencil and I'm pressing down really, really hard right in here. This is where the light would not catch underneath here. Right in the middle of the flower, this is where the shadow is going to be the strongest. So I'm going to make sure that part's really dark. And you can even kind of exaggerate those folds and veins by making some lines going out. So my definite shadowy space where the light's not going to hit it is very close to the middle. And it has this outward direction from each petal to make it look 3D, a little bit more realistic. Notice I'm not really going to the edges, I'm leaving plenty of light space. And I may go back over and outline this to make it a little bit bolder. Just trying to give y'all enough tools to get you started, but not so much that this video is going to be an hour long. Alright, so I got some basic shadows going on in my lotus flower. I can obviously add a lot more if I'd like. Another place where you definitely would have a shadow is underneath where the lotus flower is. So I'm going to take my green, and I like to outline it just a little bit because the division between green and blue for your blue water, if you want to have it blue, can be a little precarious. So it's good to have that darker line to show the difference. And then I'm doing the same exact thing, even though it's a different part of my picture. I'm going sideways with my colored pencil, trying to go in the same direction. And you notice how I'm tilting my paper all around. You never have to keep it straight up and down when you're coloring or drawing. There are times when I love flipping my paper upside down to draw or to look at it in a new way. Okay, so now that I got the basics covered, I'm going to go back in where the shadow would be. Just pressing down a little bit harder. And I can use more lines for this part right underneath where the lotus flower would be, because that would block the sunlight. And I don't want this shadow to be quite as obvious as the one on the lotus flower, so I'm going to smooth it out and make it a little bit more subtle. Make something more subtle as you get really, really dark, and then you lighten a little bit and lighten a little more to make sure you go from dark all the way to that light on the edge. And there you have a pretty decent start of a lotus flower. Now this one looks a little bit different than my other one, simply because this one I took more time on. And anytime you draw something new, it's going to look a little bit different, even if you're drawing the same thing. I would love to see your drawings and see what you guys come up with. If you'd like to share with me, please either Class Dojo me, send me an email with your pictures, or you could just post it in the comments below. Alright, that's it for today, guys. Don't forget to be awesome, and goodbye.